Hi, my name is Lauren Juillerat, and today I'm here with.
CLARKO.
I wanted to ask how long you've been making music or performing, because I know some of your posters go back to 2014. Did you start performing around then or before?
As CLARKO, I think it's 2014. I know the first show, but I don't remember what date. It was with Lumpy and the Dumpers in Seattle when I lived up there. But as a whole, I've been making music, playing in bands since I was 18. So 15 years now. Yeah.
And I know you had a band, you said, in Reno before CLARKO. What was that like?
I had a garage rock band. Hi, this is Priscilla. Okay, go. It was like a garage rock band, like kind of rock and roll. It was called Killed by Death Punk, kind of was like the genre, which is like a bunch of comps that came out back in the day, like in the 70s. And then I was in a power violence band with some of the members of Piss Mixer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And are you from Reno originally or Seattle?
I'm born and raised in Reno, and then kind of wrote some of the songs here, and then moved up to Seattle, and that's where it kind of like really took off.
So you got some experience in the Seattle music scene as well as the Reno music scene?
Yeah, I was, to sound arrogant, like kind of a big fish in a small pond here. I like booked a bunch of shows at my house. I was the music director at the Holland Project for 5 years. So I was like very, very involved in the scene here. It's kind of just like where I found myself. And that was a kind of a gateway to Seattle. So like there's a thing called the Seattle Freeze where nobody like will talk with you or kind of hang out with you. And some people in Seattle deny it, but I was able to bypass it because I was like already kind of a music guy up there.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Did you have a preference between the Reno music scene and the Seattle scene? Are they similar, more different?
I don't have a preference. Like the whole West Coast punk thing kind of feels interconnected to me, so they feel so close. I mean, they're definitely different. I feel like the different times in my life, they were like the perfect places for me. So like growing up in the Reno scene, it's very tight knit. I loved all the bands. Everybody was really nice. And the Seattle scene was like a nice breath of fresh air though too, going up there and like kind of something a little bit bigger.
And then what inspired you to move back to Reno from Seattle?
My ex-partner she was getting her PhD here, so we moved back down here, but that's kind of a practical move.
And how long have you been back in Reno for?
I'm going on 3 years. Chris, go.
She's so cute.
Yeah.
Since you've been in the music scene for so long, are there any bands that you played with or knew of back when you first started in Reno that are still around right now?
Spitting Image, I think, has been around the entire time. I don't know. Reno bands they cycle through so quickly.
That's true.
I think that's a big reason why I wanted to do a solo thing, is I can remember as like a 16-year-old, like bands I really liked, including my own. They like want to go on tour, and then somebody doesn't want to lose their job at Whole Foods or like FedEx or something like that, and then the band breaks up because like they're so cued in on like one person, you know, or like being a unit instead of like kind of shouldering through. And that always annoyed me. I was like, I really liked that band. Why you guys broke up? Because that guy's a grump.
So it makes it easier to kind of do your own thing and find members for like live music to back you when you're performing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool. Like every iteration is like a little bit different, and that keeps it like pretty fun for me to be like, oh, whoa, like this person put like this kind of spin on it. Is like, it keeps it from getting dull, which is cool. Yeah.
And then do you have a current backing band that you use? Because I know you just went on tour from May to June. Are you still working with those guys when you perform live at the moment?
It depends on what we do. So like maybe for bigger shows or for tours, I kind of have like a half Reno, half LA unit is what I call them. I call them my like the Seattle unit. But those are kind of like, if I'm going to go on a tour, I'll ask all those guys. So like 2 of them played in Seattle with me kind of at the end. I have like dumb names for all of the different lineups too. I call that the like CLARKO best friends lineup because we were all like really, really close. I remember the last practice we had, like I was like tearing up, like when I was leaving from Seattle, being like, oh man, like we didn't even practice for a show. This was just so much fun. And then the other person who wasn't in that lineup, my friend Morgan, he does all the recording for CLARKO. I kind of think of him as like the right-hand man of CLARKO, and he plays in it as well, which is cool.
That's awesome. So then, this might be a stupid question, but you make all the music primarily yourself, and then they just perform it, or do any of them help contribute in some of them?
So I write all the music myself and demo it. It's a funny process. Like I used to do bass first, but now like on walks with her, I kind of write all the songs in my head. So it's been a fun switch, kind of getting more lyric based. So I write it, I demo it. Typically I'll bring it to all the other people, and then I'll fly Morgan up or something and we'll record it, but we'll get like actual musicians to, it's not just me because I can really only play bass. Like I kind of cheat the rest of the way on the demos. But yeah, so it is all from my brain, and then it gets contaminated a little bit, which is good.
That's cool. Yeah, I love that. And going back to your tour, what was that like? Was that like booking wise, was it stressful? Did you have a favorite city that you visited or performed at?
Yeah, booking, this was the least stressful like tour booking I've ever done. I think it's a lot there's like a label that put us up that kind of has like international punk acclaim, so it was like very easy. Most of the tour was really easy to book. Like people were just like, yeah, like heard it, sounds cool, like I like Iron Lung. There's a few hard ones. Pittsburgh was really hard, and that ended up being like a challenging show. It was fun. No bad shows. But yeah, I mean, the two best ones for us were definitely Chicago and LA, which is rare. Like LA is usually pretty tough. But yeah, those were the two best ones. Chicago was just like, it was this old torn apart ballroom where they usually have raves. And it was 3 stories up with like no elevator or anything like that. So we had to like carry all the gear 3 stories.
That must have been hard.
But it was just like, yeah, it was such a fun night. Everybody was into it. It was like one of the best local bands. There was like this is maybe a weird thing to say. There was like a very like young person fight in it, which was kind of funny. I don't know why I'm telling this part of it, but it was just like, it's something that really sticks out in my mind of being like, 2 people kind of like weaponizing their political speak in a weird way of like they just had a problem, but like one girl's like, you're a racist piece of shit, and the other one's like, you're an ableist piece of shit, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is this is an interesting part of it, but I got some good banter out of it later on. But yeah, Chicago was a lot of fun, and we had a great host there, and then LA was just like, we just were like, it was so cool to end on like a high note, and like, yeah, it was just like somehow that one was like an electric one, like full room. A few people that I invited out that like I kind of look up to came out, so that was like, it was all around really good. Yeah.
And how many tours have you been on in total so far?
With CLARKO, like we've done a couple West Coasts and a full US, so we're about 3 on like actual tours. I do like to like do little weekend trips as much as I can. I'd like to tour more, but we are kind of at the mercy of like everybody's work schedules.
So, okay, yeah, you enjoy touring then? It's not like a stressful thing? Because I know some bands don't enjoy touring and some love it, so. I love playing music every night. Like if I can tour all the time and play music all the night, every night, I will. I am kind of like, I'm used to touring because I used to tour manage bands. The main band I used to do is Shannon and the Clams. So like I've like outside of not playing music, I've probably done like 5 or 6 full US tours in different capacities. So I'm used to it. They're not as comfortable as those ones, but I don't know. It's like a beautiful punk magic getting to like meet like different people every night. It really
reinvigorated my love for music, and like remembering like the like there's like, oh yeah, there's really cool people everywhere.
Do you have like a fun memory or like specific story associated with like one like tour or like one city you visited, kind of like what you were just talking about?
Oh, so many. I mean, a big one for the most recent tour is just like hang out in the van with like our 4 dudes were just like, we're just so much fun. Like we just had it like, yeah, we had a great time. Morgan, he tours more for like a job, like does like big deal shows, and he said it was the least drama he's ever had on any tour. So like just so much fun. Like yeah, every night was like, I'm trying to remember a specific one, just like the real memories for me are like sitting in the van and we would do those wrestling promos and like coming up with the ideas for those wrestling promos and just like laughing hysterically in the van, like being like, oh my god, this is like such a funny weird idea, like who, you know, like coming up with like with Chicago, we did like a Batman themed wrestling promo.
So long, Minneapolis. I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. And hello, Chicago, or should I say Christopher Nolan's Gotham. Chicago, I got one question for you. Why so serious? Tonight, I'm gonna make you either die a hero or live long enough to put ketchup on a hot dog.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, but some just want a room temperature shot of Malort.
Hey, Blackhawks, you know the difference between you and me? I'm not wearing hockey pants. You better pick up the phone, call Commissioner Gordon, turn on the bat signal, and get Batman pretty little ass down to Archer Ballroom tonight for some totally uncontrollable, hardcore, punk, rock and roll, baby. Batman, you're on the list.
He's coming.
And we were just like, this is so sweaty and dumb. Like, who, like, why? Like, this is hilarious.
I was gonna ask about that because I feel like your promo is so unique and it's like very engaging. And I was gonna ask how long it takes you guys to make that. Who comes up with those ideas?
So at the beginning of the tour, I'm a big wrestling fan. It's funny because I didn't grow up on wrestling. Like, as an adult, I was like, well, this is cool. Yeah. I didn't get it as a kid, as too intellectual, I guess, or not intellectual enough. And I was last tour. This is going to be a long story long. Oh, no. Last tour, I did a promo for our T-shirts to this theme song and kind of in the style of this wrestling group called D-Generation X. And their thing was they were like Gen X, sexy, like they were the reason that like every 8-year-old for many years would do the like suck it thing. So it was like me in my backyard doing that over and over again, and I would splice in the D-Generation X like entrance to it. So it would be like me doing it, and then like Triple H and Shawn Michaels looking at each other like and then they'd be like sexy dancing and like riots and stuff like that. This was like their weird. This was all like real wrestling stuff that I was like cutting in. And that was like pretty successful and fun on this tour. I was like just on the way being like, oh, I was just gonna do one video, and I was like, oh, let's do just one for Salt Lake. And we like stopped on the side of the road. We filmed it really quickly. I think he edited in like an hour or two. And then the next day we kind of just like refined it every day. But it got to the point where we were like, it was like halfway through we kind of hit our peak where we're like, okay, we're writing jokes in the van together for the next day's one. Then we would film it, and then Morgan would edit it for about, some of them took him like 6 hours to like edit it, like get all the shots and like speed my voice up enough. And then we would use AI for the songs. So I think he'd do like 2 songs. One was like the like background of me talking, and then the last one would be like a city specific song. So it'd be like CLARKO's coming to Austin barbecue, and it would come up, you know, like brisket, pulled pork, space to taste is so good, you know.
I'm gonna be playing totally uncontrollable, hardcore, punk, rock and roll. Hey, don't worry, I'm bringing a plate of brisket.
Can't take this flavor any other way. Pulled pork, brisket, smoky all day. Hot sauce, the heat's relentless. Grill, the taste is endless.
So it would be like a full day project, but Morgan liked having a job. It was either that or he was watching videos on Magic the Gathering. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I promised him, I realized right before going on the tour that like he had said he was going to do tour, gotten really into Magic the Gathering, and then was going on the tour, and I kind of realized I was like, oh, he's giving up playing a lot of Magic to go on this tour. So I was like, I'll play Magic with you every day. So we get to the hotel room at like 2 a.m. and he'd be like, all right, time to play. And I'd be like, oh God, it's like I'm going to be up till 4 tonight, like playing Magic. But yeah, that was his main thing between the videos and that. And then probably about halfway through, we stopped writing the jokes, and I would just have to like, we got a little, it was kind of a prison of our own creating, but it was really fun.
That was the first thing that caught my eye when I went on the CLARKO Instagram.
It'll probably be the lasting legacy of the tour, which is funny because when I came back, everybody was like, I saw the videos, they're so funny, like how'd you guys do it? Did you write all those songs ahead of time, you know, like what I was like, no, yeah, you know, like just the day of, like throw it into AI. The only one I felt, because AI is like kind of a weird topic, I feel like the only one I felt weird about is the very last one where there was like an indie song about, it was CLARKO making love to the USA or something was the lyric that Morgan came up with. Yeah. And like multiple of my like more music, like touring music industry friends were like, did this person sing this for you? And I was like, oh no, AI just like stole your friend's voice. Like, oh, no, I'm sorry.
What do you think about this?
I think this sucks.
What gave you the name CLARKO? What made you just wanna?
On one of the Clams tours, their keyboardist at the time, King Cyrus, I think I like was playing some of the song. I don't know if I had the demos yet or what, and I was playing them for him, and I didn't have a name yet. And there is a Devo song called Jocko Homo, which is kind of about like people can listen to it, they can figure it out. But he suggested I call it CLARKO Homo, like kind of like homo in terms like Homo sapien. And as I was kind of thinking about it, I didn't want people to go like get the wrong idea of like, you know, people, certain words you use, like people will be like, oh, he's not a gay dude, he's like latching onto this in a weird way. Not afraid people thinking I'm gay, but everybody knows. But just afraid that it would like, I learned early on, I was in my power violence band in Reno, which I don't typically love to say the name of, was called Registered Sex Offender. So it was like a, you know, kind of a controversial name. And I kind of learned that like, I don't want controversy to like take away from the music. I'd rather just be a B. So I shortened it to CLARKO. I like it better now. There was a while I was like trying to be stubborn about it, where I was like, no, I'm gonna do CLARKO Homo. Like people will get it, I don't care. And then my partner at the time was like, you just shouldn't do that. And I'm very thankful for her. Thank you, Stephanie. And yeah, I think it's like, now it's like a, you know, easier thing. And the band is kind of about ego too. So like having it just be my name is like, it feels perfect.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I was gonna ask too, how old were you when you first got into Devo? Because I know it's you really love Devo.
Yes, yeah. I was probably about 14 or 15 when I really got into it. And a person who I kind of refer to as like my punk dad, it's like an older dude in the scene who kind of took me under his wing at the time. He was like, oh dude, you got to listen to Devo, like Devo rules. And I was like, what? Do you like Whip It? And he's like, no, check it out. And he gave me the record. I think I bought it from him and I put it on. I was like, oh yeah, this is like a totally, I think it, you know, people have a certain perception of what Devo is, and it's like so much cooler than that. I think, I don't know, it's kind of like it's all like a theme for me is like, I like misunderstood things. It's like why I love wrestling, of like, hi, you know, people will say wrestling's like trashy entertainment, and it can be, but there's also like so many intricacies to it, and it's like it is truly like it's so much more creative and like artistic than people think it is, and I think Devo's kind of the same way. I also on that, I guess the very first time I wasn't like a full devotee or whatever was I remember going to see The Life Aquatic in theaters, and they had the song Gut Feeling, and I think it's the scene where they're running, like it's like almost the credit scene, and I was like, whoa, this is the one good Devo song, I think is what I thought at the time. And then it just grew from there.
Does Devo inspire your music making at all, or just a fun favorite band you prefer listening to?
It does, yeah. I will say like my guiding stars, I feel like for CLARKO on the most basic level is definitely Devo and like Juillerat from he was like a garage rocker from the 2000s. I mean he like made music since he was 15, but those are kind of the two, and I kind of always go back to them for some reason. Yeah. But huge influence on me. I go kind of like, oh, it's like I don't want to be like, is this what Devo would do? But sometimes I kind of do that, where I go like, well, what's the idea here? Like, I like that. I don't like fully buy into the Devo thing. That's weird to say, but they have like a philosophy behind it, and I like that it was like a fully realized like art project.
What's the full idea behind it for anyone who's not familiar?
So Devo, Priscilla, you're getting us in trouble.
I'm sorry, Priscilla. I'm just getting all tangled in the microphone.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Over.
Oh no.
Alright, go ahead. No, go. You gotta go now. So the thing behind Devo is they believe we're de-evolving. So like Devo is short for de-evolution. So that's kind of the basis starting off point, and then just like the like having matching outfits and suits, and there's like a lot of weird mythology behind it. Like they have like somebody in all their videos named General Boy, who was like one of their dads, like dressed up like a general. Or like Boogie Boy is like a big one, spelled Booji, and everybody calls him Bougie Boy, but it's actually pronounced Boogie Boy. That's when you know somebody's a real Devo fan. But just kind of interesting stuff like that.
Do you have some Devo tattoos, or tattoos inspired related to Devo?
So I have a energy dome on my chest, which is like the energy dome is like the red hats that they would wear, that everybody's like, why are they wearing pots on their head? I think the idea behind those hats is it like focuses energy in a weird way. It's weird. There's like so many weird facets that I both love and think are annoying about Devo. And then I have a Boogie Boy on my arm, and it's actually kind of it's like a Jay Retard Devo mashup tattoo, because Jay had like 2 flying V's that would cross on his arm. So I have my bases crossing and then Boogie Boy in between them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And then circling back more to like local Reno music venues and scenes, I was going to ask if you have a favorite venue that you like to perform at. I mean, I don't know if the Holland factors in, because I know you used to work there and you know Ilya. But do you have a favorite venue or venues you love playing at?
Yeah, I mean, as a company man, Holland for sure. It's very, very special place in my heart. It's always fun to play there. Kind of, yeah, I mean, I love Holland. Recently we did a show where it was like a weird hardcore show and a noise show. So we were kind of like a weird, like we fit in punk spaces and stuff like that really well. But we were definitely like the odd band out, and it was originally only supposed to play the noise show, but they kind of got combined. And we actually played in the library at Holland. So for like people not familiar with Holland, there's like a library that doubles as a green room, but it's like all of the walls are windows. So we got to play in there, and everybody was outside of the room and they could look at us. And we kind of did the old, so there's like the John Dwyer's band before the OCs, the Coach Whips, and this band Lightning Bolt. They're both kind of like 90s, 2000s like noise rock bands, they had always set up in the back of the room, and when the band before them finished, they would just start, like no break in between them. So we got to do that this time, and it was like super fun. Like it was like we kind of hit it, a few people kind of knew what was going on, but like this collaborative noise set ended, and then we were just like, welcome to CLARKO, and then just started going. And that was really fun. So Holland's I always like to play like the weird, I'm always trying to like figure out a weird spot to play. Outside of that, I do like Cypress, kind of a weird punk where I like a stage, because it's like a weird ego thing. I like to like make jokes about it, like we're on a big stage, we're above you guys, you know, the talent is. Very like wrestler heel vibe in my head. Where else do I like to play in Reno? I mean, yeah, Holland's probably my favorite. We do, I just like special places where like people don't play often though. I either want like somewhere like Holland that's like kind of normal, or like they do a lot of shows there, or like doing it one show a year at Corrigan's, like in the back.
Yeah.
Love an outside show.
That's really cool because I've never heard of anyone, like I didn't even know that was an option to play in like the library at the Holland, so that's really cool.
I think we're the first ones too.
Yeah.
And like the music director that preceded me, he's like, God, I can't believe you came up with that idea. Like he was like, oh man, I wish I came up with that. And I was like, too slow, buddy.
What year was that when that happened?
The library one?
Yeah.
It was like 3 months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Because as I say, I've never like seen that ever, so that's super cool.
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened either. Because the guy who set up the show, I call him my label daddy, because he runs Iron Lung Records. He asked us to play, and he was like, I want this to be more of an event. I want you guys to like set up in the back of the room and start playing. And then I kind of looked around. I was like, we should do it in the library. And he was like, that's a really good idea. Like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So it was fun. And then we like, CLARKO's thing is kind of an antagonistic gesture towards punk music. We jam. We'll have songs we'll like go off in like kind of long exploratory jams. It's kind of become like saying bro though, you know, where you're like, first you say it and you think it's kind of funny, you're like, you're jamming because it was funny, and now we like it a lot. But that show we went into like a full noise jam, so it was like not really music, and I invited every band that played that night to set up an instrument in the room and play. So like we started on this noise jam. One person from all the hardcore, there was like 3 hardcore bands in the Servo Pool space, they just started playing guitar, and it's just like all around, and then different people started to come into the library and like smash a microwave and like just like banging and stuff, and yeah. I had like no clue that like somebody brought a chair in and just started throwing the chair on the ground, and I was like, man, so glad I asked those kids to like do something. They made this so much more interesting. It was a move we played another noise show in Arizona, and I was like, it was a funny thing because it was like with friends from the Bay Area, and now I live in Olympia, and I saw he was like, oh, I'll see you in Arizona, and I was like, oh, we're in the same town. I didn't realize that we're playing the same show together, and on the way I was like, oh, let's do a noise jam. Yeah, you don't like noise. Yeah, she likes only jam music and not noise music. Yeah, I remember one of the California guys, Chase, he's like so musical, we ended the set. The rest of us were like, that was really fun, that was really cool, and the noise guys were like, I was like, no, we just like kind of did that last minute, and he's like, really? Oh, man. But Chase got to the end of it, and he was like, I don't know, man, I was like playing music, like I don't know if I couldn't do that. But yeah, long story long.
No, that's really cool. I've never been to a show like that. I need to see like microwaves getting smashed and chairs just being thrown. It
was really fun. We also did, so I do I didn't do it this year, but I do like a little fest every year called the 4th of July Freedom Fuck Off. And I keep on adding like sub tags to it every year. But there's a band called Sun, but it's spelled Sun-O, and then it's like a bunch of parentheses. But people usually pronounce it. It's named after an amp. I have one in the corner over there. Is there one? It's that logo right there. That's what the band is called. And so me being kind of a jokester, I did a set called Clark, but had the O's after it. And it was 5 of us, but we set up 9 amps. So the thing with Sun is they play like really, really like loud drone sets. But we did it in Corrigan's, and like it was so loud that all of the glasses were rattling in the bar. Like they were all moving, and like we gave out earplugs and stuff to be safe to people. But it was like such a funny thing. And I thought we played for 8 minutes. And then it turned out we played for like 23, and it was just us going like, brr, brr. So, we dabble. CLARKO dabbles.
I don't know if you identify CLARKO under a certain genre of music, but if you do, what would that be?
I mean, I tend to just put it under punk. We have kind of, I mean, there's like a punk subgenre that's like a meme genre, which is a weird thing that modern times are weird, called egg punk, that is like really inspired by Devo. So we're kind of like in that umbrella. I tried to fight it for a long time because I felt like self-conscious about like it felt like a kind of a flash in the pan thing, but then we got like a little mention in Spin magazine, and I was like, we're egg punk, like, yeah, that's us, we're the band. So we are technically egg punk, but I kind of half fight it, but I'm now taking it proudly to be like, yeah, anybody want to write about egg punk, let us know.
I love that. I feel like every interview I learn a new music term that I didn't know before. The creation of egg punk is weird because it was a meme. It was like literally just like a meme where it was like, I think in 2014 or something like that, they were like, there's a spectrum of punk. You're either egg punk or chain punk. And like egg punk is like what CLARKO sounds like, and then chain punk was like just hardcore, like kind of tough hardcore. And chain punk didn't stick around, but egg punk became like a real thing, much to my chagrin. But yeah, it's a weird thing. But now I'm fully in it. Like we have a t-shirt that's like an egg dressed like a punk, and I have like an X through it being like, who you call an egg? So yeah. For anybody joining the music scene or wanting to get involved, do you have any advice?
Yeah, I mean, I think just do it, Nike it, I guess. I think people think there are a lot of barriers to it, and like everything in the world is stupid and easy if you just try.
Yeah.
I think.
That's perfect.
We're all dum-dums.
I have some pictures I printed off of your Instagram.
Oh, cool.
I'm just gonna show them, and you could say the first thing that comes to mind, or anything.
Okay, cool.
These date back from like 2013.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Start the
Deep
first
dive.
image.
Okay, that was my friend made his own Ween shirt. I love Ween. It's the only band I go to travel to see nowadays for some reason. Not even Devo anymore, just Ween. I love that Ween I always go back to wrestling for some reason. They're like wrestling where they parody music and rock music, but they still love it and they're still really good at it. I have no clue what that was about. I have to maybe see the caption on it. I just love I think I used to just send the old man emoji a lot because it's so fucking weird.
I believe the caption was God, ?
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, it seems like that's God to me.
Perfect.
Okay, that is Ilya wearing, that's him during his cool LA hair metal phase. He was a lot sexier with all that hair and that straight hair. I am a big Kanye West fan. I can't remember why I got that, but I do love that Kanye sent me that, and I think it was really sweet of him, even though I don't agree with his views. Anytime I would go play pool, I would take the chalk and I would cover my hands and my face in it, because I think it's funny, and I think it's really funny. There was a time here where This is like a t-shirt we did, actually. This was a really good one to grab because it has a story behind it. That was in Tacoma, though, when I did it. But one night I was out. We were at Lucky's playing pool. And I did the same thing. And I was anybody wearing a black shirt, I would put handprints on. And I was like, but I was like wearing a suit. I had like, no, I don't know why I was doing this, like going around. And then Austin Pratt from Spitting Image came up and he was like, I'm gonna get you. And I was like, please don't, I'm wearing my suit. But I didn't have any right, you know, I was like being a jackass. So he gets me with it. And I go like, okay, I have to go in the bathroom and clean it up and stuff like that. So I come out, I put the chalk on my face. I go up to his shirt. I press my face in it. And I go like this. I do like a full copier thing with it. And it looked, my friend Morgan instantly took a photo of it. And he's like, this needs to be a CLARKO shirt. And so we made a CLARKO shirt for it for Debaucha Reno. And it says Debaucha CLARKO. It says, I was there when rock and roll died, was the tagline of the shirt. And the shirt the image is weird because it's like, looks like a, was it sonogram? It looks like a sonogram of my face, but it looks like there's two of me. It either looks like I'm making out with myself, or my face has grown huge and I'm about to die or something.
You're gonna have to send me that so I can like put it right here.
Yes, yeah, I'll send it over. I really like that shirt. This is a good one. Yes. I believe that was my birthday. My friend Steve Oriolo, sent that to me as a birthday present. I'm kind of the heel in the group, again, to use a wrestling term. So I'm kind of the one that everybody likes to like. It's like sweet making fun of. That's the group. Like whenever I go to the Bay, I stay with him. And my classic move is we go get a burrito. We go back to his house. I like crack open some kind of beer or soda or something like that, and I put a movie on that nobody else wants to watch. So one time I put Bring It On, and everybody was angry. Bring It On's a good movie too, right? So I put Bring It On, and everybody was pissed. But then I also fall asleep 10 minutes into the movie with the beer in my hand. Like there's so many times of me just like on their couch being like, and they're like, you didn't even take a sip out of it. Like I just open it, and that's like my like, okay, I'm gonna go. Yeah. I just went to his house for his birthday. Happy birthday, Steve-O. I love you.
That was everything I had for today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good. Cool.
Thank you. I hope it wasn't too much.
No, that was perfect. Thank you so much.
Reminds me, one time I did diners, drive-ins, and dives.
That's insane.
Yeah, we had a
crazy lore.
I took the day off of work. Like the day before, I went to my boss and I was like, listen, can I get off tomorrow? I think she went too, though. Like me and at least.